Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshulumilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Namaste Gurudevaya Shirupaya Priyapane Shishima Bhaktivedanta Narayane Namane Panchakavadruvascha Kavasindhuvye Vachaptitanam Bhavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Vrindaye Tulasi Devai Priya Kesavascha Krishna Bhakti Pali Devi Satavachai Namo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Harshvasari Shri Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, my respectful obeisances, countless times, beloved Guru Padma Nityalila Om Vishnu Parasatara Shishima Chila Bhaktivedanta Nag Samaraj, to our Rupa Nuguru Varg and all the assembled devotees. So today we're honoring a very auspicious day. I got the short straw for him to speak first, and I was sleeping during bhajans as well. So. So one of the main things we've heard from our Guru Varg is that our Gurudev never leaves us. This is one of the main points. When Gurudev was with us, before actually we were in ISKCON, and there Swami Maharaj was left in 1977, so very much everyone was using this Vani and Vapu. One can associate with the spiritual master in person, in Vapu, and in Vani through his instructions. So obviously, as Swami Maharaj had left, then everyone is using this Vani. And we're also trained like that. But then when we met Srila Gurudev and pure devotee and traveling around the world, then this conception then of Vapu, to be in the personal association of the spiritual master, this is very nice and very high class. So we were a little proud perhaps that we had a pure devotee guru who was living and present, and therefore everyone is then, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Shastri Koi, Labha Mata Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Siddhi Hoi. Everyone promoting Sadhu Sangha because we have pure devotee who's living. And so we were quite proud to say, you have to take Sadhu Sangha, you have to be in Sadhu Sangha. And a little bit because ISKCON was a little bit against Gurudev, then we were a little bit more, you have to be, where's your Sadhu Sangha? Now Gurudev leaving like since 3 years, then now we're also in this position where we're promoting Vani, and so because this comes for everybody. But at the same time, so also in the Christians also, they're all putting it outside their churches, Jesus is alive. Yeah, isn't it? Maybe they're Ritvik, but anyhow, they have this... Everyone has direct relationship with Jesus at Christmas time. So, but this also works for them, actually. And still, we also, we know this verse from Rupa Goswami, Tadnama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smricho Kamena Rasana Manasi Niyoja Tishtembraje Tadanuragi Jaganagami Kalemnai Akilam Itipadesha Saram. This verse 3 times is mentioning Anugatya. So even though our Gurudev has gone from the vision of our eyes and we follow his instructions, we know, especially from hearing from Gurudev for a long time, especially this verse, Gurudev always promoting this verse, Tadnama Rupa Charitadu Sukirtananu, that one should be in Braj, should always live in Braj, and in the association of the Anurag Janugami. Janugami means the followers of the Anurag Bhaktas. So you have the Anurag devotees who are the eternal associates of Radha and Krishna. They're Anurag. Tad Anuragi Jan Ugami means they're following in the line of, in the associates of Radha and Krishna, the devotees who have this spontaneous attachment. So this is Anugatya. And here it's been mentioned 3 times, Sukirtan Anu, in the beginning. So one should live in Braj and 24 hours a day should nicely chant and remember the pastimes of the Lord, Nam, Rup, Guna and Leela, in the association of devotees. So we're still, this is Gurudev's Vani. This is Rupa, whose Vani is that? Rupa Goswami's Vani. So we're also following, for following Gurudev, who's Gurudev following? He's following Rupa Goswami. So if Rupa Goswami is given the essence of all advice to live in Braj and to be nicely engaged in Shravan, Kirtan and Vishnu Smaranam, all angas of bhakti, whilst living in the Dham, in the association of pure bhaktas. So the only trick then, perhaps, is that now Gurudev gone from our material vision, and then immediately, like in 2010, then everyone's very little bit bewildered, little bit confused. Why? Because they're now looking at who is the next Acharya, where do we take shelter? But we were very, we're very lucky that when we came to Gurudev in 1996, we had in Mathura, a very nice Gurudev doing bhajan there for many years. And Gurudev not alone. And just like Krishna not alone. And then Gurudev also not alone, he also with his near and dear. So when Gurudev came to the West, then he's saying, everyone you come to Braj. So actually, when Gurudev came in 1996, we happened to be in London, and someone had arranged a talk. Gurudev would give a talk right by Bhaktivedanta Manor. So this is, when you go to wild animal, you expect some kind of reaction. So putting this program right next to Bhaktivedanta Manor, some controversy, but anyhow, we all went there, and Gurudev came, and a few devotees who were, many devotees, because the propaganda at that time was against Gurudev. We happened to be serving in London in ISKCON. So the propaganda was, he's against Swami Maharaj, he's preaching against. There was something about Mahavishnu, Gurudev was saying something. We didn't know I didn't forget the details, it was like 20 years ago. But anyhow, they had this propaganda about Mahavishnu, and we were staunch Swami Maharaj followers. So the first thing we heard of Srila Gurudev was that he was against Swami Maharaj, and we shouldn't go and hear him. And we'd also inquired from our temple authorities about the Gaudiya Math, and our temple president said, yes, they are just ringing bells. They're not doing anything. Just ringing bells. Swami Maharaj said they're just ringing bells. So we didn't know so much about Gurudev, but after a few years serving in the temple, Gaur Govinda Maharaj, His Divine Grace, Nityananda Vishnu Pajishma Gaur Govinda Maharaj, he was present in the early 90s, and then 96 he'd left. So there was some good association, but after Gaur Govinda Maharaj had left, and then everyone looking here and there. So when Gurudev came, then we'd heard about him, and there was some pulling. Oh, we should go and hear from him. And many people came, and they were actually half-half. Should we hear? Gurudev used to say, when we were in Australia one time, I asked Gurudev, there was a joke about spies. We used to joke about ISKCON sending spies to Gurudev, to our camp, to see what was going on. Who joked? Oh, who was this? Yeah, and then we were in Australia, the first tour of Australia, January '97, and I asked Gurudev, are any spies here today? Just like joking, and he's like, his eyes were darting around, trying to think, oh, spies? Any spies have come? And then he went, no, only because Ashram Maharaj was also there, because this Ashram Maharaj, he was spy. He came. So in '96, when Gurudev first came to the West to give, as we will hear today, so many glories why Gurudev came, specialities, and Gurudev's back to Vatsalya. Many came as spies to come and see. Also Shoti Maharaj, Pujapad Shoti Maharaj, he was also against Gurudev. Our Tungavidya, old Tungavidya, grey-haired Tungavidya, she's distributing books in Paris, I think. And Shoti Maharaj getting these books of Gurudev, throwing them on the floor. He was against, many people against. But then Gurudev's nature and love and affection, he's conquering everybody. So I'm remembering, was one devotee lady, youngish. She was quite bold, and she came to Gurudev and she said, why have you come? Why have you come here? And Gurudev said, what do you want? She said, what do you want? And Gurudev said, oh, I don't want anything. And then this this lady, she just kind of looked at Gurudev like, I don't believe you, And Gurudev saw that she was looking like, I'm not buying that. And then Gurudev said, okay, I want one thing. I want the heart. And then this lady's like, that's everything, Maharaj? This is everything? And this was Gurudev's thing. Gurudev came to the West, and he was collecting hearts. So it was a very nice answer. I don't want anything, I only want the heart. And Gurudev would even say, give your money to any other institution, and give me your heart. And Gurudev would also say, devotees would also say, oh, I want to give you my heart, Gurudev. But easy to say, not so easy to do. So as years roll on, this is what we're trying to do, to give our heart to Srila Gurudev, because he's super pure, super qualified, and we've learned and understood that in the material world, we're always trying to put our heart somewhere. If you don't give your heart to Guru, then you'll give your heart to a dog, to a cat, hamster, girl, isn't it? Hamsters, boys, girls, boyfriend, girlfriend, pet. And Facebook, how many people they're posting their dog, picture of their dog, and everyone liking so much their dogs. But this is the thing, if you don't give your heart to Guru, if you don't give your heart to the pure devotee, you don't give your heart to Krishna, then it has to go somewhere. So Gurudev, with his sweet Harikatha, then he is collecting hearts. This is Sankarshan Shakti. So we learned that when, after Gurudev leaving, then many devotees, they're not knowing where to go. But as we were, our original point was that we were very lucky that in Mathura there was very good association. Yeah. First class association. And Yet, our first contact with Gurudev was not with the Vaishnavas. Our first contact with Gaudiya Math was with Gurudev. And when Srila Gurudev came to the West, then he had this Sankarshan Shakti, Nityananda Prakash Baladev, Bala, Chit Bal, great spiritual strength. He's Srimati Radhika's representative. He's Srimati Radhika's near and dear. He's serving in the eternal realm, and he's also preaching very boldly as Nityananda Prakash, and therefore this Sankarshan Shakti. Sankarshan Shakti, as we know, means this attracting, pulling potency, like a magnet. So, as we know, when Gurudev came to the West, there were hundreds of devotees who were disenfranchised and left by the side and on the fringes and not completely, not satisfied, and like wounded animals, not comparing them to animals, but like wounded individuals, wounded people. And when Gurudev came, then this Sankarshan Shakti, boom, automatically, without any notices. Like, I never had any, all our propaganda we had was bad propaganda. But somehow or other, we knew we had to, we heard of Srila Narayan Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, and we thought, I'm going anyway, I'm going to see. We heard, don't go, don't go, don't go, but something inside saying, I must go, have to go. Don't know why, just, we'll see for ourselves what is going on. You know, and like I said, we were thinking, oh, if this personality is like against Swami Maharaj, then Krishna will not tolerate. But then when we met Gurudev, then we're seeing he's not against anybody, he's giving this Shabda Brahm, a transcendental sound vibration, and after hearing, we heard so many classes from Bhadajivs aspiring for spiritual life, anyhow. They're quoting so many slokas, but then when Gurudev spoke, I remember the first sloka I heard Gurudev recite was Sarva Dharma Pratigya Mamikam Shanam Praja. Hearing this sloka many times, but hearing it from Gurudev, it entered into my heart and was like fireworks. Whereas when a conditioned soul, when we speak these slokas, then small effect. But when Gurudev speaks, he's realized, and he, like Tadvidi Paripratena, Pariparashtena Seva, Upadakshanti Te Ganam, Gyaninas Tattvadarshanaha. Krishna is saying you approach this self-realized soul and surrender to him and inquire from him submissively and render service unto him, because he can impart knowledge into you. Why? Because he's Tattvadarshi. He's seen the truth. He's realized what truth. Gurudev explains, Brajenjanandan Shama Sundar. He's realized the Supreme Lord. So someone who is Tattvadarshi, who has seen the truth and realized Sri Krishna, then he can impart knowledge through his presence, through his glance. Even he's not saying anything, just he's sitting there. We know with Gurudev that with this, his disposition, his demeanor, his qualities, his gravity, this is permeating everywhere. So therefore everyone trying to get close to Gurudev, close to the Vaishnavas, like in class, everyone coming closer to the speaker, closer, closer, closer. Not because, why? Because there's this pulling power. So like this, Gurudev had this Sankarshan Shakti. He had this ability to attract and ability to pull. And even though without any advertisement, then still so many devotees came, and Gurudev had this ability to relight their fire. Whereas initially they came, like we heard earlier about in Madhuri Kadambini, the first shower, some shower of mercy from Swami Maharaj when he came to the West, but this rain is okay, but causes some burning. So then, and then going away, then second shower, and then this is more relief coming to the jiva. So this relief, so many devotees experience, not just the disciples of Swami Maharaj, but also so many new people and new jivas. We all were very fortunate to come to meet Gurudev, and then not only that, so our first contact was with Gurudev, but then also then Gurudev's his instruction is inviting everyone to come to Braj-dham. Gurudev's traveling from India, from Braj, and he's telling everyone, oh, follow Rupa Goswami, follow Swami Maharaj, follow our Guru Varg, and also come to Braj. You must come to Braj. So everyone was very eager now. For myself, I hadn't been yet to India, so was wanting to go. But so this was now, Krishna had arranged that our first time in India was under the guidance of Srila Gurudev. So he's making that relationship. So then, when we came to Gaudiya Math, then we're realizing, or experiencing directly, the power of the Vaishnavas. And that Gurudev is not just one person. There was Pujapad Nityanam Vishnupad Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, whose appearance day is today, and Pujapad Nityanam Vishnupad Bhaktivedanta Chivikram Goswami Maharaj. And at that time, Gaudiya Samiti, also many other Vaishnavas, high-class Vaishnavas. Then also in Mathura, like jewel box full of very nice high-class Vaishnavas. And although from the outside Mathura, not looking so nice, and salty water, dusty, but I was inside. Kirtan Ras is flowing, and we never, as well, because Westerners, we were preaching and distributing books, so we thought, oh, we know something, we're saving the Western world, we're distributing books, a little puffed up, you know, well, we're doing this preaching. Then you're hearing the Kirtan and Gaudiya Math, and then, oh, this is a pinprick in the ego. How the devotees are weeping for Krishna and crying in Kirtan. So this was very nice that Gurudev is not alone. So many exalted Vaishnavas, like we mentioned, and also others. So then we learned that, but still, the desire first is to go direct to Guru and try and serve Guru, but then we realize over time that by good association that we can't just go straight to Gurudev. We have to go in Anugatya. Just like we used to use the example many times, you can't just go and see the president of any country, go to the White House, knock on the door, and say, I want to see Barack Obama. It's not going to happen. Yes, we can. No, you can't. It's like, it's not going to happen. You have to go for any secretary, any other, so many processes, and probably you're never going to meet him, actually. But if you gain favor with the secretary and follow proper etiquette, then maybe possible. So same with Gurudev. We want to try and take some mercy from Gurudev, but how we're going to catch this mercy? Because Gurudev's mercy is continually flowing. So we understand that, oh, Gurudev is left, but really we should know Gurudev is never left. It's impossible because his mercy is continuously flowing. Only he's gone from the vision of our eyes. But as we've heard, that before he was one person, and he would go from Europe to France to Holland to England to New York to Badger, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Hawaii. Then he'd go to winter, he would go to the South Hemisphere and Bali, Malaysia, Singapore, Fiji, Australia, Bali, and then come back for Gorpanim. And then like this, his tour is expanded. But now Gurudev, now his forms, many murtis. Now he's coming, like Uddhav asked Krishna, how can I obtain freedom from Maya? And Krishna told Uddhav, you have installed my vigraha, install my murti. You install my murti, and this way you can worship this murti, and I will not be away separate from you. So this is same. Now Gurudev, he was one, and now he's become many. His pictures, his murtis. Definitely Gurudev, he's two ways, through his Vani, through his instructions, and then you're with Gurudev. We're discussing the teachings of our line with the flavor that Gurudev has given. Like many people, they speaking different tattvas and Siddhanta and Bhagavad Gita, but who had this flavor, this unique flavor that Gurudev was sharing with us? this is not ordinary flavor. This is very sweet and very condensed form of nectar. So it's not this that you can get anywhere. So by associating with the bhaktas who have imbibed the mood of Srila Gurudev, and by hearing his, reading his books and capturing, trying to extract that nectar, we're definitely in the presence of Gurudev. Then also through his murti and through his pictures and puja, then Gurudev is, we're also with Gurudev. So we shouldn't think, and anyone who's following like that, they'll feel that mercy. It's not a speculation. So this was the thing, that after Gurudev left, then so many people, they're thinking where to run, where to go, who's the next acharya. It was a very unfortunate time. Whereas we should know that the mercy of Guru, the gift he gives, is the Vaishnavas. Without the Vaishnavas, we sing first to Guru, then we sing to Vaishnavas. So the Vaishnavas, they're helping us. Without them, we cannot make any progress in bhakti. And they, therefore, we say we should be in Anugacha, we say we should be in Sadhu Sangha. Therefore, we're very lucky in Sri Radha Kunj. That very, Krishna has arranged very nice Sadhu Sangha. And the sweetness of Gurudev, where is that? It's also in the hearts of his disciples. Gurudev also present in the heart of his disciples. Just like all the Dhams, Navadvip Dham, Chaitra Dham, Vrindavan Dham is in the heart of the Gurudev. He's in the heart. All those tirthas are present with Gurudev. And he's distributing, he's like distributing this mercy from his heart. And in the same way, his disciples, then they're reflecting in their hearts the love of Gurudev and that sweetness. So where we find that sweetness, that is the same sweetness that we find in Gurudev, where we find that same sweetness, then we, automatically, like an animal in the street, he's looking for some good water, and he's sniffing around, and then he finds some good water, then he stays there. Okay, so same with the Vaishnavas, we hearing different devotees speak Harikatha, hear so many Gurudev disciples. But where we find very nice, sweet representation of Gurudev, and that softness, the same softness and the same compassion and love that Gurudev had for us that we experienced, where we find that mirror, a reflection, a representation again in the Vaishnavas, then we should know we're with Gurudev, we're with Parampara. That love, that Manobishtam and that Anurag is present in a high-class Vaishnava, then we're very lucky. So I've spoke maybe 20 minutes. Okay. Different devotees will speak, but on this day we look forward to hearing so many devotees, the specialities of Gurudev, how he traveled all over the world and gave so much, re-established actually the conception of Rupa Goswami. Because for many of us, we didn't have this such high-class association. Although we were reading books, we didn't have the sadhu. Like Gurudev used to say, that Gurudev, it's one thing to read the books, but Gurudev, he has the key to the treasure of Srimad Bhagavatam. So without sadhu, he who has the key, then you're not going to be able to understand. But Gurudev very nicely and very quickly and concisely started to instruct us all on the mission of Rupa Goswami. What is Raganuga Bhakti? What is Rupanuga Bhakti? And he explained and straightened everybody out and corrected everybody and made everyone understand this conception of Rupa Goswami. So we're here today from so many different devotees, and we're very lucky to be in Brajadam, to be under the guidance of Gurudev's near and dear devotees, celebrating very nicely this festival. Without this shelter, where will we go? same as Gurudev came. Swami Maharaj came and we read his books and we came to his centers. And then Gurudev came and he picked us up. Oh, you have no guardian, you have no helper, you're alone. Come with me, come to Braj. So we were very lucky to come under the guidance and under the shelter of the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev. But then also, now we're also very lucky that this same love, this same anurag, this same saranagati, this same seva vritti is present in Braj, that we're very lucky to be in Braj, to honor this festival and to deepen our understanding of Gurudev's mission, to deepen our commitment and refresh our dedication to Gurudev. So this festival day is very auspicious. We'll hear from so many devotees. We pray to Gurudev that his love and anurag and his bhaktas never forsake us and sprinkle their mercy upon us, that we can attain the treasure that he wants us to receive in our hearts.
Om Jnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangolangayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarine Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Ishtadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Hayachena Hayabena Prabhurja Tadas Savaracharana Vandadante Karigas Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyahevacha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. First of all, from my respectful obeisances to our most beloved Guru Pada Padma, Chidandi Swami, Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosvami Maharaj, by whose mercy we've all assembled here today in honor of his divine disappearance day. Then I offer my respectful obeisances unto Vishnupada Satarasa Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, who's its Abhirbhav Titi, his divine appearance day today, which is, everyone's definitely thought of this, how cool it is that it's both on the same day. Then now, from my respectful obeisances, onto the whole Rupunaga Gauriya Guru Varga, and of Vaishnavas of past, present, and future, specifically the ones present here, and all the senior Vaishnavas. So, today is a very important day. We know that. It's, as disciples of Srila Gurudev, it's probably the most impactful or heaviest day that, at least for myself, I've experienced. The day when Srila Gurudev entered into Nitya-lila and life completely changed. What is our... I might speak generally, but I'm actually speaking personally. But what is the concept of bhakti? What is the concept of Guru Seva? What's the concept of relationship? How to move forward? So many different questions, and the dynamic of the relationship with Srila Gurudev has entered into a new realm. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he wrote in one article that the last gift the Guru gives to the disciple is that he enters into Nitya-lila to be able to teach the disciple how to serve in separation. Because in Vrajdham, in the highest perfection. Meeting and separation are both two sides of the same coin. If we want bhakti, then we need to have both of those. One of them I prefer more than the other, but that's the way it is. And if Gurudev really loves us, which he does, he's going to teach us how to serve in separation. He's going to teach us what... He's going to teach us how to remember him. In Badger, Vijay Krishna asked Gurudev, what do we do when you leave? And he said, what can you do? All you can do is cry. When Ramchandra left, he said, all the Ayodhya Vasis just cry. There's nothing else that can be done. We hear from Gurudev and Vaishnavas that Viraha is Vishesh Rup Raha, or is a special type of association. In separation, there's a way of meeting and unity to come. So now this is our only way to be able to be with Gurudev again. I'm sorry. Gurudev told us he would never go. He said he was always with us. I was very worried that Gurudev would leave, so I asked him one time, when you leave, under whose guidance should I be? And he said, my guidance. I'll never leave you. I'll always be with you. He said, don't worry. So I'm trying not to worry now. Because he said not to worry. And that everything will be okay. Some days ago, I was thinking about this. It's been a meditation for a long time. How is Srila Gurudev here? Gurudev says that he's not gone, but it feels different. And before, it was different. And some inspiration came that gave me a little bit of peace. That for a while I've been studying this philosophy, or understanding that the universe or reality has different planes of existence. There's the physical reality in which we're interacting now, which is physical, earth, water, made of 5 elements. Then there's more subtle forms of reality, like in mind, intelligence, and also like Vrajdham exists here, but we cannot see with these eyes. It doesn't mean it's not there, it just means it exists in a different dimension. And the process of our sadhana, the process of our spiritual life, is to be able to raise our consciousness into that dimension. So, Srila Gurudev is here. He's here. It's just sometimes we're too absorbed in Maya, we're too absorbed in these lower states of consciousness to be able to see him, to be able to understand. I remember when staying with Srila Gurudev, sometimes he would just sit for hours and hours just staring in one direction, and you'd think, what is he looking at? What's he doing? And he's completely absorbed in a different world. Like Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, they showed a photo of him and he said, oh, that was a moment of great bliss. You know, I remember sometimes Gurudev, amazing things. You can see he was just completely in a different realm, in a different reality, having an experience. He was seeing something that I wasn't seeing. So what I mean to say is that Gurudev is here right now. It's just a question of, can we see him or can't we see him? Is how bewildered is our consciousness by the material energy? How much are we absorbed in Maya that's keeping us away from being with Gurudev? Maybe you've had some experience. I've had some experience that sometimes I feel very close to Srila Gurudev when he's not there physically. Like when he was here on the planet, I remember he sent me preaching in the villages of Bengal, and I didn't like that for a lot of reasons, but also because it was away from Srila
It was away from Srila Gurudev. And then when he came back to Calcutta, I was so happy. I was like, yes, I get to go and see Gurudev physically. And I had a very, very strange experience. Was I saw Gurudev physically, externally, but he was talking with other people and I didn't have him completely to myself. But when following his instructions, when doing what he said, the experience of Srila Gurudev in the heart was in one sense deeper and stronger than the external manifestation at that point in time. So, I remember Kanai Prabhu. I say this a lot because it really left a samskar. He put his hands on my shoulder one time and he was crying and saying, Gurudev's here right now, he's here. He says, we're speaking, Gurudev's here watching what we're saying. Gurudev's... But sometimes we can see a little bit and sometimes we can't. I was watching a video of Srila Gurudev on the internet and some devotees were speaking about separation of Guru, and Gurudev says, I'll always be with you, I'll be here. And then the discussion was, it was on a morning walk and it was in Australia, and the discussion was, how will you be here? How will you be able to perceive you? And Srila Gurudev says, it will come like a feeling. There'll be a feeling inside the heart, kind of, he didn't use the word intuition, but the way he was describing it sounded like intuition. Says there'll be a feeling and I'll be guiding you like this. We know in the scriptures it says Jiva Shakshat Nahi Tate Guru Chete Rupe Shiksha Guru Hoya Mahanta Sarupe, that the Jiva or the conditioned soul cannot perceive Guru inside of the heart. It's something that we can't see. That's why he manifests externally in the form of Guru. But what does this mean? One of the first things I heard from Srila Gurudev is that the relationship between Guru and disciple is eternal. Nothing can ever come in between this relationship. So when Gurudev says that he's always with us, that doesn't just mean after we met him. It means that this relationship exists now and also will existed before and will exist into Nitya Leela. When we're serving Radha Krishna also under the guidance of Guru. Also this relationship will continue. But sometimes, because we've been hearing a lot about Maya and Katyani Rat, our material consciousness gets, messed up. And we can't see Guru, so it manifests externally to teach us, to bring us a lesson, to be able to bring us closer and to, do what Guru does, to teach. But really, his external manifestation, in one sense, is just one of his lessons for us. His external manifestations is one of his lessons. And if we weren't so dumb, he wouldn't have to come externally because he already exists internally. So right now, is the time when Gurudev says, okay, I've given you that lesson. I've taught you how to come to my classes. How to massage. I've taught you how to be there physically and for me to pat you on the head when you do good service. Now it's time to mature. Now it's time to go deeper. Start doing real bhajan, Start going deep into the relationship with Guru. Because if we're going to serve Srimati Radhika, if we're going to enter into Nitya Leela, we're not so fortunate that Srimati Radhika and Krishna are going to descend in front of us physically like Srila Gurudev did. The only way in which we're going to enter that Nitya Leela is through an internal process, through bhajan, through meditation, through mind. So Gurudev has mercifully come from there, grabbed our hands, and is gradually pulling us from this external consciousness into an internal consciousness. Into an internal relationship, because that's what we're going to have to do, and that's what we need to do if we plan on getting bhakti. So, even though Srila Gurudev's leaving is painful, even though we don't like it, I guess what I'm saying is that he's doing it for our good. He's doing it because that's the best thing for us, and that's the best thing he can do. So, one more point though. Srila Gurudev, he says that he's giving everything. He's giving so much love. He's giving so much mercy and sweetness. He would give classes about Gop Kumar. Gop Kumar put his hand on the head of the disciple, and the disciple blasted through all the universes and was there in Nitya Lila. And Gurudev says, I can give you this bhakti in a second. I can just put my hand on your head and bhakti will come. You know, and sometimes we're thinking, why doesn't Gurudev do that? And I think it was Chandrika Didi, but I'm not sure. I think it was. I was in the distance. It was, yeah. It came to Srila Gurudev and after Gurudev said that in class, he said, well, come on, you know, you can do it. I'm waiting. You give me bhakti. And Gurudev said, first I want some pranami. First I want some dakshina. So bhakti is about service. So if we want to, Gurudev is here in front of us. We just can't see. Well, I can't see. Right? Gurudev has the power to give us bhakti in a second. But we've got to show that we want this. This is what our sadhana is. This is what our bhajan is. This is what all the kirtan, everything we're doing is we're showing Gurudev the depth of our desire to be able to be with him. And when I first came to the mat, one thing Gurudev said to me, looked at me and he just said, Parishram karo, which means work really hard, do hard intensive labor till you know. And by serving Gurudev and by giving everything, then we show Gurudev that okay, this disciple wants this, and then Gurudev can give everything. You know, it's like namam balahilena labyo. In the beginning of the class, I was saying that okay, Gurudev is here, and because of our stupid material conditioning, we're unable to see him. But also, it's because of weakness. It's because we don't have strength, because we don't have power. This is the nature. The jiva by nature is very small and minute. But Gurudev's mercy is so big. Gurudev's mercy is so powerful that not only does he give the mercy, he also gives the patra or the pot for being able to take and hold this mercy. So what does that mean? Not only does Gurudev manifest in front of us, not only does he tell us how we can do sadhana to be able to see him. Not only does he come and tell us jokes and be very sweet and attract our mind, but also what he does is he gives that power or that strength to be to be able to follow this sadhana, to be able to follow his instructions. But what it depends on, one thing that is in our hands. Gurudev's giving everything. Only one thing is in our hands. And that's what makes the difference. Is our desire. Is do we want this bhakti? Do we want the relationship with Gurudev? Gurudev is giving us blood, sweat, tears, everything. Every time in Mathura when Gurudev would give class, he would come back with a fever, with a headache. And I remember Prabhuji in the summer would have to take gamsha and bring it in front of the AC to be able to cool his head. When Gurudev was writing the books, he had spondylitis, neck pain. He would cause him so much pain, and Gurudev would just continue writing and writing and writing. He's given everything. The only thing is if we want, what is our desire? And if we desire, then our desire is followed by actions. And then Srila Gurudev will come and give everything. Reminds me of Gurudev so many times giving class on Damodar Astakam about how Mother Yashoda is binding Krishna. Mother Yashoda is Krishna's mother, God's mother. But still, she was only able to bind Krishna after hard, intensive labor, after working, after crying and sweating and not eating and vrata tapasya, everything. Then she was able to bind Krishna. So if we want Srila Gurudev, work for it. Then he'll give. Then he'll see that we want. Then he's ready, because he also wants us. You know? How much pain we have in wanting to have our relationship with Gurudev. Gurudev has more pain for us. Because Gurudev's mind doesn't get bewildered by Maya, like ours does, and sometimes when we forget Krishna. And if the relationship, if that sambandha is eternal, if that relationship is there, that means Gurudev also wants that relationship with us. So, anyway. Vanchakalpaturvesya kripasundarevacha patitanam pavanevyo vaishnavevyo namo namaha.
Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyaiva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavad Pranams and to the lotus feet of our Paramaradhyatama Srila Gurudev, the Srila Pravishtam Vishnupad Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosvami Maharaj, likewise to his dear god brother, Srila Pravishtam Vishnupad Srimad Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, to Arupa Nuga Guru Varga, and to the assembled Vaishnavas. Today, we know how special this day is. We used to celebrate this day as the Vyasa Puja of Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. But now double his Vyasa Puja, but also the Viraha Mahotsav of our Paramarajan Srila Gurudev. So, hearing my god brothers, this is we can realize the speciality of this day. Also, how much merciful Srila Gurudev is choosing this particular day. Choosing this day of his god brother's appearance day as the time to so-called disappear. So somehow there's kind of like mixed, it's not purely like separation. There is the other half of it, and that's the meeting part. We know that in this family of Saraswati Thakur, we are connected through our Gurudev. Our connection, Srila Gurudev's connection is through our Param Gurudev. When Srila Gurudev first decided to offer himself unto the lotus feet of Param Gurudev, he went to Devananda Gaudiya Math. And we know he came like in the middle of the night. And who welcomed him? It's Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. Now, in the same way, now welcoming him into the real home, the real family in the Nitya Leela, his god brother Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj again, Gurudev showing to us. And it's a way of showing also their relationship. So, again, as what we've realized, or we've been told many times, Param Gurudev also always explained this, that this viraha is actually very, very powerful. Like now we're experiencing it. See, he said in the mood of meeting, the sadhak's heart can be polluted. When you're with Gurudev, and like when we were with Gurudev, so many contaminations are there, we're affected. You know, sometimes we become proud and so much anarthas even. But with his separation, like when he disappears, then this power of separation just like becomes so purifying. And we see that it's because of like today, then it gives a chance for us to meet with him. Like you will not be see, how is someone appearing to somebody? If you know that you are not your body, you are not just your senses, then really, what is real appearance? I know I will sound like Uddhav, like the Krishna Uddhav trying to pacify the gopis, but somehow we have to also appreciate that really, this world is not our home. And Srila Gurudev is showing us that our home is in that world of Radha and Krishna with Mahaprabhu in the eternal service of the divine couple. So he will not be with us here in this world. He's showing us that you have to come with me there. So then he disappears, and it gives us a time to long for him. Where is Gurudev? And this day every year comes, and it's his mercy. This particular Viraha day is very powerful, and it's very purifying. It, like now, we are focused, like hearing kathas of Gurudev. Our senses, our mind, and ourselves, we want to be, we're praying now, we want to be with you, Gurudev. Like, we are remembering all the times that we are meeting with Srila Gurudev, and how much he is showing his love, his mercy to us, what he is teaching to us. On this particular day of separation, then we are remembering all these things. So this day is a time that all these like blessings actually come to us. So it's like all of us, we have our own special moments with Srila Gurudev. You know, and especially on this day, we are remembering this. We don't need to tell that, if we tell that, it's very good, because it also becomes very inspiring to our God brothers. So like for example, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when they were doing Sankirtan every night at Shriva Sangam, and it's always closed door, and the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Nimai, is that sometimes during Kirtan he will be absorbed like a devotee, but sometimes he's like being God would also come out. But there was one time that he totally showed that he's God, and he was giving prem to everybody. So it said that for 7 prahars, that means 21 hours, he was not in any devotee mood. He was accepting that I am God, and he was showing to everyone, and individually he will reach out to one devotee. Remember this, remember this time that you were doing this and doing that, and I was there. He was showing that. Like for example, his teacher Gangadhar Pandit, he was telling to him, remember the time when when you were running away from your village because of all these like Muslim invaders, and you were just at the bank of the Ganga, and you were waiting for a boat. And you were thinking, like, if they will catch us, they will kill my family, they will rape my daughters, and we will just die. So like, he was like praying and praying. So the next day, one boat came, and he said like, I will give my whole life to this boatman if he will just bring us across the Ganga. And then he said, I was that boatman, and I'm accepting whatever you're offering me everything. So Mahaprabhu is telling that I am this, and then he also telling Haridas Thakur, remember the time when this Muslim Qazi, like he hired all his servants to beat you in these marketplaces. He said, I was there, and I have my Sudarshan Chakra, and it's ready to kill these rascals, but I know that you will not be happy if I do that, so I cannot do it. So what I did, I myself like was embracing you and covering you so you won't feel the pain. And then he showed his back, all the cuts are there. So like this, Mahaprabhu was like has his individual relationship with everyone, and he's showing that. And then he was calling Sridhar, and so many, like Mukunda. He was making a joke with Mukunda. He was telling that the devotees are telling Mukunda is outside, can he come in? He said no, he cannot come in. Like why? Because he's a hypocrite. When he's with the devotees, then he said, oh, Bhakti is very good. But when he's with the Mayavadis, then oh, okay, like yeah, Brahma, like that. Then Mukunda was asking, but can I have a chance to meet with him again? Mahaprabhu said, after a million lifetimes. Then he started dancing. We know the story. So like this. And then we know Mother Sachi also. The devotees were giving, how about Mother Sachi? She said, I'm not giving her praying because she committed aparad to Advaita Acharya. So all these things happen on that particular instance. Mahaprabhu is showing that all these different relationships. In the same way, all of us, we have our many relationships and very memorable times with Srila Gurudev. So on this particular day, especially we remember all these things, and Gurudev begins to appear and like a flood, just purify us from all contaminations that we may be accumulating in the previous days or years. And so this particular day is very special. And one thing though is that all these things shows that or makes us appreciate how much Srila Gurudev loves us and is merciful to us. And I always remember that what our Param Gurudev said, especially on this particular occasion, that he said that actually it is not enough to just be able to appreciate how much Srila Gurudev or the Vaishnavas are loving us. He said, all this love and all this affection and all their good qualities, if they do not inspire me, if they don't inspire me to become like them, to wish that I will also become like them, what is that? To be a one-pointed servant and one-pointed devotee, then really it shows that I'm just a sense enjoyer. The idea or the sense gratification that we feel thinking how much Gurudev is loving us is another manifestation really of our being this enjoyer. We're just using Gurudev as an object of our senses. So therefore, like his love, we have to appreciate, and more than that, it should inspire us to be able to be real devotee like him. So we see that, sometimes we see that, or we hear, and the question also is asked that, really, what is Gurudev's speciality that everyone really becomes so attracted to him? One disciple of Pujapad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he once mentioned that he said that my Guru Maharaj built a home that provided shelter to all the world. But Srila Gurudev had an even more special home, because he's providing a home where all the Vaishnavas can unite. So he actually said that Gurudev is like Vaishnav Sarvabhauma. But then one thing we have to understand is that when Srila Gurudev is, because he's telling that Srila Gurudev, he is very loving and he's welcoming everyone. But we have to understand really, how is this happening? What is that mood of Srila Gurudev that makes it so that people really come? And this was discussed yesterday actually with Prabhuji. Our Param Gurudev called him Bhakta Bandhav. He is the friend of all. We use that definition. Now, we know what a friend is. Everyone in this world knows that when you have a friend, you have some shelter. You have someone to tell your problems. You have someone to share with you all the fun, and someone who can help you. So the only thing is that in this world, there's this concept of friend and enemy. And to understand that, like Prahlad Maharaj himself was discussing or was telling, his teacher Sanda Amarka, after Hiranyakashipu asked him, like, what have you learned today? And then Prahlad Maharaj started preaching about, this Krishna consciousness. And then Hiranyakashipu told his servants, like, what's happening to this kid? Like, how he's now becoming like an agent of the other camp, my enemy. So like you should train him properly. So then Sandamarka was very kind to him and asking him like, how have these impurities come to you? You're learning this from our enemy. So then Prahlad was explaining that he said that in this world, if someone is really following bhakti, then all this concept of friend and enemy disappears. Everyone becomes their friend. He said, Sayadan Vrata Pungsam Pashubudhir Vidyate. This Pashubudhi, this animal intelligence, it will disappear. What is this Pashubudhir? Anya Esha Tatanyoham. It is, what is that? Iti bheda gatasati. Iti bhed gatasati. Bhed, these differences. Usually this animal, they always try to calculate how is this different and how is this good or similar to me. Like, oh, he's my friend or he's my enemy. Usually the basis is how much this one can help me with my sense enjoyment and how is it against. So this is actually the way animals are calculating someone's friend and someone's enemy. And in this world, it's basically like that. So he's telling that, but if someone is Sayadanu Vrata Pungsam, if he's following Anuvrata, what is this Anuvrata? Anukulyena Krishnano Shilanam Bhakti Rotama. This is Anuvrata. When someone is really engaged in this pure bhakti, then he will not be able to see someone as friend or enemy. Everyone will become his friend. Now, someone may be trying to become his enemy, but later on they will realize that really he's my friend. And this we see, like today, Jagat Mohan Prabhu has given a few examples how like people trying to become, or trying to be spies, and really against his Gurudev, and later on they became now very great servants of Srila Gurudev. So we see that, but what is it that really that make them change? Now we see that Srila Gurudev he's the well-wisher. Like a friend, he's well-wisher to everyone. He's giving what is really that can give us real happiness, real satisfaction. Everyone can also say like that. Many gurus in this world, many people can try to be guru. But we know that there's really no one like Gurudev. And we can see because he has this mood. And see, spiritual life is relationship. And this relationship is something personal. It's not something you declare like to everyone. It's something between you, the disciple, and Guru. Now, Guru, he gives as much guidance and help. Guru means he is the representative of the Akhanda Guru Tattva who? Baladev Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu. So, but there are some special personalities who are giving more, or we say, although it's not good to compare, but we can say that there some personalities have more sweetness and more clear, simple, and more powerful gift or way of giving their gifts. So like Srila Gurudev, we know that he's very simple. Everything is very simple and actually very easy and very sweet. And it's basically like just teaching us the nature of Braj. I remember one time when I was in Cebu, I was sick at that time and therefore Gurudev told me to go there. So I was with him, and at that time there was this lady, like one mother, she came, she's very new, she doesn't know like anything like what we're practicing. But she's a friend of Tamopaha Prabhu, and so she came, she had darshan to Gurudev, and Gurudev was nicely, like talking to them. And then Gurudev immediately just, like almost at the end of their talks, Gurudev asked them, you know what's a guru? You know what a guru means? Then the lady said, guru means like spiritual teacher. He said, yes, but actually more than spiritual teacher. So you don't know, guru is so powerful. He can even control God. And then, like, the lady was like, it's like, it's when you tell someone like new, and it's like, yes. Why? You know why? Because he knows the science of love. You see, and then he started talking about Braj. Like, you see, like in Vrindavan, like Mother Yasoda, no one can be like her love. She can even bind Krishna, like, God becomes like a little kid and he's binding. Talking like this. Then he started talking about like the gopis. So, and it's actually very sweet, and it's a very personal thing. And therefore, Gurudev we can see that how much really Gurudev is giving all this Braja Rasa, this mellows of Braj. And this is what is actually, we can see how that attracts everyone. And so we see that disciples of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, they're all coming to Srila Gurudev. And many, like in the mat, it's actually, previous to Gurudev, I was in another mission. And in that mission, we're so like, we're just centered on our own. Like, oh, everyone else is bogus, and like, we're all a bona fide group, like that. But then when I met the Gurudev, and then I was living in his mat, and I see like, oh my God, like there's many disciples in this. He's not even a disciple of Gurudev, and they're living with us. Like, oh, they're disciples of Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. There's Bhaktivedanta Srila Siddhanti Maharaj. There's like so many like disciples, and they're all like living here. And I was like, I was in the beginning, I was like, wow, Gurudev is so great, like, And this is the thing. Gurudev is able to do that because he's showing that he's not making the disciples feel that I will steal you from your guru. He's making the disciples feel that how much great your Gurudev is. Your Gurudev is Rupanuga. And it's actually, if not for Gurudev, many disciples of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj will never even realize how Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj is Rupanuga. And really, with Srila Gurudev, he's showing the speciality of our line. And he's showing like who, Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasacharya, who is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Like really, who is he and what is the Gaudiya Math? He's showing that. Who is our Param Gurudev? He's actually giving real relationship. So this is the thing, in spiritual life, is relationship. So, and he's showing like real relationship and makes us have an entrance to this. So, like this, and I just remember, just recently when Gokul Prabhu was here from Australia, he was showing us like one time in Holland. That was the first time when Gurudev was there. One of the first classes that Gurudev was there, Gurudev was singing this Goranga Buliti Have, and then it really created like a mood, like very, very sweet mood that everyone started crying actually. Gurudev also was crying, everyone started crying. Now I may not be able to tell this story nicely, and especially if Gokul is listening now, like I apologize if I will not like tell it exactly like, but in essence, he was telling that everyone became so like, touched. Gurudev was singing. And then they had like a confirmation that this he will be like we can really take shelter of him, So then at the end of the class, they were just like so fired up. Then someone shouted like for the Jai Dwani. He started with Srila Gurudev. He said Jai Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, like that. And Gurudev said, stop. Then everyone was like kind of afraid and said, do it nicely. Start with your Guru Maharaj. So like this, and then because of that, then they feel like, yes, he is really our Shiksha Guru. Then like this is what Prabhuji explained also yesterday, that Gurudev is showing, teaching the disciple really how to have this proper etiquette. And he's showing how the disciples should appreciate and see their guru, especially in terms of our standard or our like guru parampara. So like this, our Srila Gurudev, we know is very special, and he is without any fear, without any consideration of any like problems. He's boldly teaching what is the real concept of the this Rupanuga line, the actual precepts of Gaudiya Math. The last instruction of our Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur is that we should aspire to be the foot dust of Sri Rupa Manjari. And really, this is what we see in the life and the teachings of Srila Gurudev. And he's showing to us what is our wealth, what is our, what is our treasure. So he's writing all these books just to show us that this you will find all the treasure here. He's translating all the books of our Goswamis, especially of our Rupa Goswami and our Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So this, we cannot imagine really like how fortunate we are to have Sadguru like this, to have met such a Sadguru. And so now that he has like entered into Nichalila, now there's many so-called disturbances happening, and we see that it's always part of it's a part of the process. But one thing, see, Gurudev, he leaves his legacy. Sometimes people think that his legacy is his buildings, his temples, his books, and also Gurudev is, when he was here, he was making all these different these different institutions. He's making Bhakti Trust. He's making Gaudiya Vedanta publications. He's making the Sannyas Council, right? He's giving all these different we say like structure. But we have to understand that, and like Swami Maharaj also, he said like ISKCON is my body. So he's making this ISKCON institution, like the group, like there, and they're there actually, supposedly to facilitate the desires of Swami Maharaj. And like Srila Gurudev is making all these different, structures to facilitate really what his desires. But we have to see that this thing as it is, just as the structure, is like a shadow. Like a tree, the shadow is connected to the real thing. And just looking at the shadow, you may have an idea. Like for example, if you see a tree, the tree shadow, then you get an idea that this tree is a mango tree. Or this tree is like, it could be a pine tree. You can have some idea. But just itself is not the real thing. So unless this particular thing, or let's say the structure, let's say GVP for example, just the organization GVP is like a shadow. But what will make it a real thing is when there are actually devotees working in this group, and they are totally non-different or totally in one with Srila Gurudev. We always hear of the shloka, Bhayam Ditya Abhinivesitasya. This Bhakti, what's that? Bhakti Rekaisha Gurudeva Tatma. That particular last line. Bhakti Rekaisha Gurudeva Tatma. If you're only making your Atma same with Gurudev, and only one pointed towards Bhakti Ekaisha, so then all this bhayam, all this fear will never be there. This fear only comes when when you try to separate yourself from God and from His Guru, from Shri Guru, and you're trying to absorb yourself in this world. So, like, for example, now we may fear that, oh, like, Gurudev has left, and then all this fear comes. Why? Because we're actually trying to be separate from. We're not yet in that position of being Bhakti Reka Aisha, Gurudev Atma. We're making Gurudev our real Atma. But there is hope for us. We just have to look and take shelter of those we know that who have already in the same Atma with Srila Gurudev. So, and if you're sincere, you will find one. And Gurudev will show you. So when Gurudev also says that I will never leave you, He will never leave us, really. Because, for one, we are, as Maharaj has said, that relationship, Guru and disciple relationship is eternal. And of course, this is there. But while here, now that He's not here, He will never leave us, because He will be with us through, first we know by His instruction, and also because there will be someone who will be, if you're not able to hear Him eternally yet, you will be able to meet someone who can discipline you and can show you that this is what Gurudev wants. And I think you know why we are here also, because we know that under shelter of some Vaishnavas, then we know that we can be pleasing to Gurudev, and we know that we will be in good hands. So like this, we pray to Srila Gurudev on this day and our Guru Varga that by this day of his separation, real appearance of him may come, and this will make us inspired to be his true followers. Vancha kalpatarubhascha.
ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय आचार्यसिंहरूपिणे श्रीमद्भक्तिप्रज्ञानकेशवैति नामिने वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो